we're here today doing an interview. We're trying to just find positive black role models that have been through struggles in life and found ways to make it. And this gentleman here is going to give us his keys to success. Can you state your name, please?
Yes, Dr. Leonard Brock.
Okay, notice that he said Dr. Leonard Brock. And what's your occupation?
I'm an executive for a non-for-profit, and I also have an independent business for which I operate.
Okay, so Dr. Brock, where are you from?
From Rochester, New York. I grew up in the Crescent, particularly zip code 14605, which is categorized for some of the social ills surrounding that neighborhood. One of those folks who, I guess you could say, is from the neighborhood or is of the neighborhood. So I grew up in Rochester, inner city.
So growing up in Rochester and being in the inner city, as many of our youth do today, in 60 seconds or less, give me some of the struggles that you faced growing up that maybe some of our youth can relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one, education wasn't a part of my value orientation. I grew up like any other urban market. You had the drug dealers, you had the poverty, the lack of education amongst your peer group and your, first generation high school graduate and my first generation college graduate, obviously. Single parent household. Mother fell victim to some ills of the streets, or I should say the neighborhood. Very independent, very early in life by default. One of my older sisters, she helped raise me for the most part, and just was able to overcome a lot of obstacles.
So to overcome these obstacles, there had to be something that drove you to do that. So what was the catalyst that kept you on the right path?
I think for me it was having a deep-rooted faith in the unknown, an imagination that was crazy. And I didn't want to be subject to the environment that I lived in. And when I looked around me, everybody was doing the same thing year after year. And I wanted something different for myself. And the only way I was able to do something different is if I actually literally did something different. So I started to really value education and look at school as a way out, as another hustle. And, it worked for me in that respect. And, for that, it leveled the playing field. So I think for me, persistence, resilience.
So now everyone, it's a common message that education is the way out. What made you want to achieve that success? What were the three keys that got you to achieve that success with education and where you're at in your life right now?
Yeah, I think I somewhat explained some of those, but let me just, specify what three of those were. Like I said, a deep-rooted faith that things can and will get better. Resilience, not allowing the circumstances to dictate my future. And also just being persistent, sticking with it no matter what. Even when I fell on my face a couple of times, getting back up, dusting myself off and going right back after it. So in my opinion, faith, deep-rooted belief in yourself or in your potential ability to create the change within, resistance, and persistence. I think those would be my three keys if I had to say those are the three keys to success.
Now finally, do you have any words of inspiration for someone who might be struggling, just to uplift them and get them to a better place?
Absolutely. I would say stay with it. It's discouraging when you look at the statistics, when you read the data, but even though I'm a rarity, I'm still a reality. There are brothers like myself that exist, and the person you who are interviewing me are one. You can do it, you can achieve. There's greatness within. You just got to reach in, pull it out, and allow it, project it so others can see it.
Well, I thank you for your time and your words of inspiration. Hopefully we can motivate some other brothers to do the same.
All right, thank you, brother.